If you do not know yourself, nor know your enemy, you will lose every battle. If you do not know yourself, but you know your enemy, you will lose only some battles. But if you know yourself and you know your enemy, you will win every battle. These words are found in The Art of War by the Eastern military strategist Sun Tzu. And for a number of reasons, it's a work I encourage everyone to read. But in particular, this section of The Art of War, I think, is pertinent to something we probably all have to deal with on a daily basis, namely prayer. And there is a section of the Catechism because, after all, you're probably wondering, what in the world does The Art of War have to do with prayer? Well, I'll tell you. In the section of the Catechism, the fourth section, deals exclusively with prayer. And in particular, there is a certain headline of the section called Prayer is a Battle. And you might be wondering, well, A, never really considered prayer a battle before, and perhaps B, who is it exactly I'm battling against? Well, fear not. The Catechism has that answer. The Catechism lists two primary opponents that we face in our daily struggle to pray. One is ourselves. And the second, it lists as the wiles of the tempter, the evil one, the devil. But for today, let's put the devil aside and focus on the first one, ourselves. The Catechism also makes a great reference and says that prayer always requires some sort of effort on our end. That while, yes, prayer is truly a gift from God, it is His grace that allows us to pray, because prayer is never initiated by ourselves. Prayer is ultimately always and forever started by the Holy Spirit, without whom we can't even begin to pray or even realize that we should pray. But there's always some type of effort required. And I think we all have dealt with prayer being perhaps not effortless like we would wish it to be, but very effortful. For instance, there is several types of things which always seem to pull us away from our prayer. And the first of which, I think, is probably one of the bigger options or factors in this, which is distraction. Whether it's distraction in the form of I must do A, B, and C before I can get to my prayers, or even when you are in the act of praying, something demands your attention and pulls it away. Now, for some of these distractions, they can be a very good thing. I have work that needs to be done. Who's going to pick up the kids? Who's going to do X, Y, Z? What am I going to cook for dinner when I get home? Those things are good. And as we've talked before in different series, while certain things are indeed very much of a good thing, without its proper context and without its proper ordering in our lives, they don't become so good anymore. And it's important to pay attention to these distractions, because distractions ultimately help tell us what is truly important in our lives. If not, we wouldn't be distracted in the first place. We could brush it off easily. And I'm not saying that simply because distractions enter into your prayer life, you somehow don't love God. Of course you do. Remember I said prayer takes effort, and it took effort to have all of you get here today or to listen to this recording. So I'm not saying that there is no love there. But what I am saying is that maybe there is something else there that we need to reorder in our lives. And that is a daily struggle for all of us. That is where that battle is a prayer comes into play. Those distractions, even bring those to prayer. Say, Lord, why do I have this distraction now when this time is surely for you? Does deciding what needs to happen for dinner really need to happen during this hour or during this moment of prayer? Don't get me wrong. I'm sure you're a great cook and dinner is good. But that is where that prayer is a battle starts to form and take its shape. And where really we start to see that, yes, in some of these instances, wow, I truly am my own worst enemy. And again, this is a natural thing. It happens to everyone multiple times throughout their prayer lives, and likely will happen multiple times after today as well. But the point is, how can we begin to start reducing those things in our lives? Again, work is great. Kids are great. Food and nutrition is great. Not only is it great, it's essential. It's essential to live. Work to pay off your shelter, which again is another essential thing, is a good thing. You need to have that to live. But prayer is essential too. And it is likewise something essential to live. So, what do we do when we find ourselves distracted in those moments of prayer? When that battle starts to turn against our favor? St. Therese of Lisieux offers some really profound advice. She says whenever she got distracted in prayer, she would gently recognize that she is, at this point, distracted, and then gently start to turn herself back towards God. You know, a lot of times at the seminary, we have holy hour every day. And we would gather together. It's later in the day. And inevitably, because it's happened to me plenty of times, inevitably, something like, oh, I need to find that source for that paper. Oh, I need to finish that paper. Oh, I need to do that reading for so-and-so's class. And again, all those things are great because then I can help minister parishioners. I can help them find that answer they need. The canon law is particularly important classes, right, for someone who comes in and needs help. But without that prayer life, I don't have the energy to do any of that. So when I'm there in the pew at the seminary, and I start to think, oh, I need this for that paper, it's more like, no, right now, I'm in the chapel. Right now, I need to devote this time to the Lord. So that's the first step, recognizing I am distracted. That paper is not due this second. Secondly, how can I return my attention back to God? Right now, it's very easy. We're literally in his house. The Blessed Sacrament is exposed for us to venerate and worship and love. At homes, it might be a little more difficult. And I would encourage, maybe perhaps, setting up that space in your home that is completely dedicated to prayer. Where is that one space I can go and know that this is my time and place for the Lord? Because it's kind of interesting how our bodies get conditioned to the physical spaces around us. You know, if you have trouble sleeping, a lot of sleep doctors would tell you, if you can't sleep in your bed, move places. Because you need to condition yourself that your bed is for sleeping. It's not for doom scrolling on YouTube on your phone. It's not for this or that. It's for this purpose. Where is that physical space in your home that is for the purpose of engaging in that battle we call prayer? If you can't have the church every day for your prayer, what can you set up in your home that is free of those distractions and that you can start to engage in that battle of prayer, but ultimately start to converse and worship the Lord and strengthen that relationship with him?